Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're all well. I wasn't sure if I would be coming back to it just yet. Wasn't sure if I'd had time today, but I woke up earlier than I'd originally planned. So, we got more Endwalker. With the quest outside help getting very close to the end, I believe. But only one way for us to find out.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Forchano Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the
Oh
capital.
right, they sent him to the Tower of Babel.
Perhaps it was a
trying to
stroke
figure
of
out where.
grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I don't think we're in a
I
position to
wouldn't have
take
sent
them
you
away
after
right
the
now.
Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions. Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
True.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
Atta boy. I wasn't sure about Julius, but he's starting to warm
It
up
seems
to
you
me.
have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties.
I'm starting to warm up to him. Got it backwards.
A moment,
Also, I thought his
Master
name was
Forchano.
Julius for a long time.
You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Sharlayan alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
We're so formal with each other. I know that stuff isn't great.
Do you swear to
but
listen
still.
and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I swear.
I don't.
Any other, I would doubt. But you I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks. Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
Yeah, I didn't just go there. I've been busy. Lena says hi.
Did you hear something just now?
Is Xenos back? I know he's been lurking. Oh. Why are you here? And why are you like this? What are you doing here?
Where, oh where is this star's blasted pudding?
Oh, there's a lot more of you.
Dawn may banish even the darkest night, and to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort.
Hey, Urianger. Welcome back. I see you have your
'Tis
friends.
heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Still
Yes,
a
but
weird
what
thing
are
to
you
say
doing
casually.
here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
He's so funny.
Then allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Aetherius. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better
Hey.
time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvelous, they say, yet not an
I love
ounce
them
of
so
pudding to be
much.
found. I must suffer Urianger's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom?
Pudding and Doom are like the two most important things right now.
Ahem. As
How could
I
we
was
go on
saying,
without either?
Should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Hydaelyn's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Aye, not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
I love them.
Forgive me, but are they...
Rabbits, yeah.
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Oh, yeah, also that.
Hail, fellow! Well met! You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Hydaelyn's right paw! That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Sharlayan, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperids made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable. 'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
Aww. Good to haveth you back. May thy disciples banish this darkest of nights. May thy disciples banish this darkest of nights.
I am no esteemed philosopher of Eld. Nevertheless, 'tis my hope that what little knowledge I shared shall serve them well, and perchance help save us all. Will thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Well, you're also not wearing your coat
I dare
anymore
say
for some
you'll warm
reason.
up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
Puddingway is still so lost. He's wasting away. Someone get this man a tree. Left Sanctuary, entered Sanctuary. Did it teleport me back to Sharlayan then? It sure did. Sharlayan's so pretty. I dare say Master Fortuneau was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Hydaelyn's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We've yet to have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the Rostra. I gotta tell everybody about everything that happened because it was crazy. And the Azids aren't bad guys. Well, not all of them. And it makes it really awkward. Because we killed a lot of it. We spent a lot of time fighting them. You know, it's been forever since I've checked on my retainers. Yeah, I know the venture's complete. It's been, like, a long time. Go on a new venture, please. Thank you. Let's just take this. What mean? That's a good name. I'm in a very sleepy, relaxed mood. Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Aetherius, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loperids a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryal tells us you've obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I have news to share regarding our study of the Ethereal Sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would hear them first. To what revelations did Hydaelyn's Elpis flower lead? Oh, boy. So yeah, I went back to the first, and then I went back in time, thanks to Elidibus, and it's bad. It's bad. Then this Dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akashar are one and the same, this all but proves Nadana's theory. We're an entity, through sheer force of emotion, to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of ether. But if our star was so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the Great Expanse. True. Meteion. Or rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she's been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred, drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose: the destruction of Aetherius. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim: to defeat Meteion. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteion, and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteion escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vana, the woman who would become Hydaelyn. The implications of temporal magics are not vastly understood, or not entirely understood, and so, we cannot assume that our Hydaelyn and the Vana you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Hydaelyn possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Aetherius, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteion? The Vana I know would never give up. No, but Meteion is still out there. The Vana I know would never give up. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she's been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteion. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then commuting with Hydaelyn must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of our involved and other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hydaelyn, even from within the Anti-Tower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hydaelyn. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, built closer to home. Sorry to interrupt, we've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. And Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. And see if we can't figure out how they've been speaking to Hydaelyn. That feels like a very important thing for us to know. The Rostra. The Forum's now in session, and as such, the Rostra is closed to visitors. I'm not a visitor, I was requested. A sign of the Seventh Dawn. Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. They didn't actually take it. I still have my sword. And you can't get it from me. The game won't let me unequip. This is gonna be voice acted. There's no way it's not. Oh, they took my
There is
weapon.
a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends.
Mm-hmm.
By your leave, of course.
I'm not gonna try to stop you.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence.
Yo, Ad Hoc Studios makes
The
a
purpose of
dispatch
today's
that is
assembly is
based.
to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn at their request on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzad-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly
as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies.
Okay, so you're not just
was
abandoning.
foremost among these. But since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
I doubt tribes.
As many as we can.
Yeah, you're trying to ignore
And how,
the
pray
allied
tell,
societies.
do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
Make it fast. Throw more engines.
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on two conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the Anti-Tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
Putting a stop to the final days in general.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino.
This is the guy that believed in
we
us
put the
earlier.
master a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself.
Hey nerd, I'll win. Like, loser. Duh.
Yes,
Bozo.
what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration.
Yeah.
I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms?
The cute bunny that I saw next to Fortuno didn't raise her hand. She hates us.
71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuno, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Looks like we've actually, like, got this kind of under control. Hell yeah. Not necessarily under control, but we're doing okay. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both the means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Meteion, in the spur of the moment, I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the Ark is a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the Ether Burner. I'd like to think it not as a challenge beyond... I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. Sid! Sid, where are you? It might behoove us to learn how an Ether Burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. Where is Sid? As instructed, I shall take you to see the Ether Burner. Meet me outside the Archaeon. I trust you can make your own way there. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Down here? How big is this ship gonna be? Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archeon's lift. Step inside and have Ophaline take you to the medial circuit. Hi, let me in. You want to use the lift, yes? Take me. Take me there now. Now! I've sent your associates ahead to the Logisticon Alpha, on the other side of Mariel Agronomics. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to... No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. What's the easiest way for me to get over here? Probably just sticking close to the wall. Am I too powerful for some of this stuff to even try to fight me? I'm not too sure. Do you want to fight me? You still do, okay. Maybe you just aren't as willing to aggro. Wait a sec. Oh, there's a doorway. Please, let me jump over, thank you. Oh, you're a little guy. You're really cute. There. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here, being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, Father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with your grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking Father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. 'Tis all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world. to grow inured into the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loporrits in recreating a similar environment, I've come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiarch, the habitations built for all mankind, neath the moon's surface, each unique, yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Aetheris, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos, in preparation for the Great Exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Though the Loporrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I've arranged for you all to enter the Central Circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions, and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. Then let us proceed. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the Central Circuit. Ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokol Dankal, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. Labyrinthos is probably one of the prettiest zones in the game that I've seen so far. I love the design. Don't try to fight me, Golems. Don't you do it. I'd win. Hello, you're kinda cute. I like your design.
I could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows.
I love you.
Think, Kokol, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the Ether burner conundrum.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
I mean, yeah.
Hast thou
But maybe you've
consulted
learned
with the
more since
Loporrits?
then.
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allagan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allagan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ins like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
What about Cartana?
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with.
Oh?
Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
You want me to go and fetch the Watsits? This sounds like a job for someone else. You want me to go and fetch them? Because I can. I'm not afraid to. I'll do it. I feel like I'm probably the only one who can.
Though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
Probably.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours. What's all this?
Don't worry about it.
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Your Heavensward reference, Heavensward mentioned. Let's go.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
Let's go.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Sword expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists, or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
True. True, true.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlie
so
before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
We're getting everybody back together for this. It's gonna be great. It's times like these we're reminded of how famous or infamous Alphen has become. Who would have thought he could achieve so much with a single Link Pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Oh. Meanwhile, in Ul'dah. What's happening in Ul'dah? There's Lolorito on some fuck shit again.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan Make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Thiergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberg will personally see it done.
Is that the Gosetsu voice actor?
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Chizona's blade, clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul.
I love that she's getting, like, going all out with this. I mean, I guess technically, like, everybody's gonna have to. Where are we going next? Or did it already pop up? I looked down for a second. Meanwhile, in the Black Shroud. Oh, Rune, I didn't actually think you would be out here, like, running it all on your own.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses.
Wrong?
Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
Yeah, you can just draw it out. Like, it's not like the defenses are gonna fix themselves.
Might I suggest taking us along?
Please. You're actually here. You're doing something.
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiencies so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud.
True.
I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalymo.
Oh, I'm glad that she still thinks about him. I miss Papalymo. Meanwhile, in Kurthus, oh, you're kidding me. You're gonna make me cry.
There you are. We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah.
Who is it? Is it Trace Falker?
That was a roar. A dragon's roar.
Yeah, it sure was. Meanwhile, in the Ruby Sea. Who died in the Ruby Sea?
And so,
I mean, the
installation,
Yatsuyu, but I didn't
the
like
Eastern
Yatsuyu.
Alliance, as well as the Honorable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid.
Sarabon!
Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Oh, everybody's coming together. I'm so happy. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go make myself like some gamer subs or something. it stays so dim here in the winter. It's like so dark in my house, considering it's 11 o'clock. Alright. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will know if they meet your requirements once they arrive. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Huh, you've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about Allagan technology. Everyone looks at G'raha. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. I mean, yeah, he is Allagan royalty. Ha, if only Master Kokol knew how right he was. While he and G'raha establish a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse. And if nothing else, it would be twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. That's true, it would be really boring just sitting here by ourselves. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you have a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet's lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah, that lot need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. Yeah, where is Charlie and Hamlet? Up here. Okay. I also believe that I can go and get this one. I can. So I'm gonna go and get this one first, which is kind of out of the way. Ooh. Ether current. Gimme. I might go around and try to do all of the ether currents and ether current quests after work today. Get through, please. Hello? Okay, well I guess I must not be able to get to that one actually. In that case, back to the Charlie and Hamlet. Over in that direction. I feel like it's been so long since I was able to fly. I can't wait to be able to fly again. Don't look at me. Don't do it. I don't see an aetheryte yet. This place is very vertical. It's hard to like look over buildings and stuff. Hi there, I know you all are just kind of hanging out at this gate, but I'll be right back. There's an aetheryte here somewhere. There. 1 sec. There. Oh, keep bumping my mic. I hope it's still in like a good spot. I don't know what's going on lately. Maybe it's because I'm like sitting a little bit closer to my desk now. Hey, thanks, bud. Oh, and thank you for the sip, baby. From what I can tell, a lot of people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Montashan talked about. I'll start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. I had to mute for a second. I figured you guys would not want to hear the Shaker Cup. Helping with the Ark, even with all the power Master Kokel's managed to squeeze out of the Ether Burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. Only we've begun the exodus sooner. People are dying, and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Something like that. Working on the Ether Burner. Oh dear, I fear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I'd choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out, it's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes or what have you. The Forum's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when, a lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortuno and the others. Hardly got a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Probably not. I would assume no. Where's the last one? No, you're an ether current, but I will accept you while I'm here. Like I said, I want to be able to fly again soon. So where is this person that I have apparently missed? I guess I didn't do a very good job of checking over here. So they're probably like somewhere in between these buildings, maybe? Oh, hello. Offering to help. That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of these documents by myself. It's mostly lists of things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be honest, I'm not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants, while I'd much prefer something small and fluffy, like that beheaded rabbit that ran by. I have great news for you. I was told to meet by the Aetheryte. Oh. Living Way. Fancy meeting you here, Chris. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magic. What we're really interested in is the Theus itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all the time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around. Or at least, that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urianger and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Wouldn't that be fun? A tour of Labyrinthos. Ah, an unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Bestway's burrow, it would be in our best interest to give the Loporrits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Sharlayan contributors. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture? What a marvelous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's-it over there? Ah, yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Chris. You bastard. I can't believe you've done this, Urianger. Alright, what's the what's-it? Is it that thing? I'm walking the end. Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics. It's positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features. Oh, this little mini-game. I don't like this mini-game. Wheel. Tank. It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Huh. I think that's actually a correct guess. Impressive. You spotted an ambostoma, an especially lively one at that. It would appear that the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world. Somehow. Have you hit the next dungeon or raid? Not yet. Metal tube. I would like to introduce you all to the concept of tube. Is that water I hear inside that great big tube? Yes. I think so. I can't hear it. It must be because of those cogs and that giant wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they drop the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it too. Like a big straw. Mushroom thing. That looks like the trees in Greatest Innsvale. Hold on. That's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. Now it makes sense. That's where they store the water. Yes. Correct. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? Sounds right to me. I knew it, a design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments, for us Loperites, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that people of Aetheris somehow make their homes in arid deserts and such. How were they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalan are built near an oasis. So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order, once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Oh, I thought that was Urianger. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loperites will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlie and Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We cannot help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big, nasty teeth, Loperites may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. But I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logisticon Alpha. For my part, I shall act as an escort to Living Way and Cooking Way, and trust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. Why not just all go as a group? That doesn't make a lot of sense. A more valiant protector they could not have wished for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction Watson. Oh, wait, that's right, I forgot. Urianger is on his shady shit again. They're probably plotting. He's plotting with the bunnies. Let's see. Hi. You remind me of the thing that my D&D character killed a couple sessions ago. It seems that we're safe now. So thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction once it is worth these harrowing experiences. You'll be fine. Of all the fun, some might say. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. Over here. A wayward troll getting bullied by Analas. It's okay, wayward troll. I'll save you. Well, mounted? That wasn't something. Grr. Have a fruit. Wah. Okay, have fun. Oh, that was just a random thing. That had nothing to do with the bunnies. I was so confused for a second. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logistican Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray follow me. Take me up. Marvelous. Simply marvelous. So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Aetherius just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out to the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I can't wait to see more of it. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where's the food? I think you're going to be disappointed by the lack of carrot. I believe both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Mariel Agronomics. As I imagine Singing Way and the others intended to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? I suppose. Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully, I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Urianger was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention Aetherius will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there's still time. Stop saying that. Let us brook no further delay. Quit saying that our home's gone, because it's not yet. I'm still here, I'm still fighting, and I'll still win. And I'm trying really hard to like stay fully awake. And it's not going great. This is the place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read those who help themselves to a farmer's crops without permission are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples. Jebka. Jebka. What a fine mess this is. Ah, it's you, the one who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the exodus. I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we can down here, up there. First on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides will become our new home. It's all so sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. But no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment, so many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce if we may. By all means, help yourselves. Most appreciated, my good fellow. So, where to begin? Looks like over here. Let me skip. Let me skip. Stop emoting on me. Let me skip. Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes? More importantly, squapes. Let's see if they're as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour, and tastes as much like a ripe philosopher's carrot. And yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? I'd brave an erupting volcano for a choice bunch. Meh, ghastly things. I'd rather eat rancid gigantode eyeballs. I'd brave a volcano for grapes, especially scrapes. Yes, they're rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, as I recall? Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next tree. Apple. Orange by name, orange by nature. I guess not apple. What came first, the fruit or the color? Who cares? Let's eat. Yes, that's... Equal parts sweet and sour, as with the grapes, yet nothing alike. I'm gonna have to consult Urianger about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter. This is all very complicated, you know. So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous though they still are in my estimation. Let no one say I said otherwise. Ah, but speaking of carrots, we've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in the field over there. That color, that texture. Are they some sort of enormous round carrot? Pumpkin. No, in any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Ugh, it's so hard and flavorless, I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop, stop, stop. Can't you see these are pumpkins? No one with any sense will try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. And perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder though, if there's anything even more delicious about that yellow fruit over yonder. Banana? Or is it? Oh, yes, you should try one of these. What a wonderful fragrance, with lack of a flavor to match. As I have no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. My tongue, is this poison? A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? Maybe some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I had best call an end to this round of sampling. I'll say our farewells and return to the others. I'm so glad that I didn't warn him about the lemon. Jebka. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'm rather enamored with the grapes and oranges. Less so the pumpkin, though I've learned the hard way they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was a lemon, the deceiver. I feel so violated. First time, was it? I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one, so I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon! Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to... Oof, bit of sick came up. Learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, lemon muffin, do your worst. He's about to have his mind blown. This is... delicious. Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See? We rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the Forum agonized over what was worth preserving, and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we're to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Hydaelyn sees in your kind. Mankind, the Loporrits, we were both born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. Did I accidentally skip? I sure did. Hold on. Hold on. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. Therein lies its folly, and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Yet civilizations have since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They paid no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What, then, is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect. To be content with what we have and to make the most of it. When life give you lemons, make lemon muffins. Pardon my Eorzean, but what in the seven hells are you on about? And who are you, anyway? Cooking Way, at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrot. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Aetherius' species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive. Probably. Let's go and see if Urianger and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? This way. Can I just teleport there? No. Ah. I have so many random coffers. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know many of any other places famed for their cuisine? Limsel Minsa is home to the Culinarians Guild and many less than savory establishments. The Far East has oodles and noodles. Limsel Minsa. Culinarians Guild would be exactly where you want to go. Would that I had time to visit. The more I learn of Aetherius, the more I wish we could spare it from the final days. Alas, Heidelman's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way. There is. Ignore what she said. Chris, I trust thy time at Mariel Agronomics did bear fruit. Our own efforts too were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them and us for a fortnight. Fortnight? Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlie and Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every Loporrit there, should further questions within my power to answer arise. Aww. Right here. Yes, Chris, that was indeed me verbalizing aside to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for Aetherius with Logistica Alpha. That's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all your forests like that? Yeah. The Black Shroud is quite leafy indeed, and a place of utmost tranquility. They're verdant at least. The trees of Trevania stand particularly proud. You should see the forest of the first. One was purple. I say! With the stars so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you are reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something to be proud of. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. It's a little silly. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Thancred. This is Thancred. How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. We have the Forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing this disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not, though aided by our goodly friend Growingway, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure I'm up to that challenge. Me neither, buddy. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps we might start with them? Oh, that was Thancred. It is as good a place as any. Come. I guess I'll turn this in while I'm here. Ooh, I got a new ring. There's the researcher. Oh, can I help you? Why are you so down, bestie? It is you who would help me. Is my anxiety truly so obvious? Yeah? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray, tell us of thy troubles. These little fellows do look like good listeners. That's racist, just because they have giant ears. I accidentally skipped again. Hold on. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship is some of decades of Charlemagne's ingenuity, that it's built with peerless, elegant technology, is all true, but I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage. But even so, if it fails us then, what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after. Click. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether burner's design was flawless too, and look at how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou held the power to allay his fears. Oh, I'm not sure about that, but, well... Maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship's design that you're specifically worried about? Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell, to regulate the environment. What if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we left the star? Aha! Gravitation. Maybe I can be of help after all. Up there is not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply. But if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places... I suspect both parties should find comfort in this conversation. Yet if Thancred's tale is true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Loporits to attend them? Oh, pink. Nope. An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There's not we'd like to learn more to There's not we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Aetheris, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Chrysanthemum, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek thee out the distressed and apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Loporit. Emotional support bunny. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loporit, and every Loporit in their place. Give me just a moment. I just want to check to make sure what time I work today. Okay, we good. God, that is a lot of people that I have to find. What am I thinking about? The medical facilities on the ship, of course. I designed them with the assistance of our sages and chirurgeons, but to imagine every illness or injury that one might face in that great expanse is beyond any of us, to say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body. The crew from the moon. Why did I not think of that? I don't know. That's why I'm coming over here to tell you. I almost just dropped my phone, but I have amazing reflexes. Bestie, why are you sitting and staring at a shrub? Just leave me to my misery. The forum can appoint someone else. I apologize. I simply don't know what to do. How am I supposed to pilot the Ark if I'm already falling apart under the pressure? You know a starship pilot that I might speak with? Truly. Well then, there's no time to waste. He can help me prepare for this monumental task. Go, run, be free. Have you heard anything of what's on the moon? I've no doubt that we can make it up there, but the searching for a new star part of the plan sounds awfully vague to me. I asked the forum, but they will only tell us our collaborators have everything under control. Forgive me, but I don't feel particularly safe wandering the stars on God knows what, made by God knows who. They're literally here if you want to talk to them. You mean to say that I can speak with them directly? Amazing. I hope they like questions. They're kind of nerds, so I bet that they do. I would assume so. Worries. No, I believe I'm fine, thank you. I've been confiding in my colleagues and it's helped a lot. Can't recommend it enough. This researcher already has the support she needs. Ooh, there's someone. It's a Poromogo. Look at that little guy. How might I help you? Are you feeling like you need therapy? My, what a lovely idea. I too noticed people becoming rather tense, so I rushed out to pluck some fresh and fragrant tea leaves. Now I need only track down 100 or so cups. But don't you worry, I can manage. I hope your plan to cheer everyone up goes well. This woman is doing better than you are. I mean, let's not go that far. I'm chillin'. Hey, you need therapy. Go pet a rabbit. My face. What's wrong with my... Ow, perhaps I am a bit tense. I was tasked with ensuring that the proper fauna, and only the proper fauna, are brought with us to the moon. However, the suitability of a few species is still under debate, and I can hardly make the decision myself when I know so little about the environment up there. It's the moon. What do you mean? Including the Loporrits in our discussion is a wonderful idea. I absolutely will, thank you. Perhaps their biology itself might offer some clue as well. Yeah, like if you were worried about the rabbits not making it, I have fantastic news. Yes, you idiot. Have you seen an envelope lying around? This imbecile refuses to give me the alchemic I ordered without that bloody slip of parchment. Talk to a rabbit about it. Unless your firms have a spell to make me remember where I dropped my damned envelope, I doubt they'll be of any more help than you, and you've wasted enough of my time already. It would be unfortunate for all involved to inflict this man upon the Loporrits. You don't look sad, you're reading a book. I thought you looked sad for a second. You. The end of the world is nigh, yet the work goes no faster. Schedules are such temperamental things. Feasible one moment, utter bollocks the next. And yet I've never felt so alive. This one is beyond your help. Only sleep can save her now. I am going to send this to my work bestie. Hold on. You. That might have been mean. By the gods, my chest is tight. Am I dying? This is what dying feels like? No, you're not dying. I've died quite often. Oh, do pardon me. I didn't see you there. There's no cause for concern, I assure you. No cause for concern, even though we may need to depart at any moment, and if the whole design buckles under the strain, the entire vessel may explode on launch, claiming countless lives and dooming all mankind. That's highly unlikely. Yes, highly unlikely. Highly. Talk to a rabbit about it. Our visitors will help me triple check for structural flaws, you say? Well, that would be wonderful. I'm breathing more easily already. Where's everybody else? Dude, there's so many people I have to talk to. Hi, you look distracted. 56 bunches of weeds in the ground, 56 bunches of weeds. Rip one out, add to the mound. 55 bunches of weeds in the ground. Hey. I'm not neglecting my duties, I swear. I was in need of a little break, you see, but then I found myself unable to relax at all. So I went on a walk, and I noticed these weeds, and you need to talk to a rabbit. Pleasant conversation partners, and oh so fuzzy. Goodness me, that does sound like a much better way to relax. Do any of you need therapy? Level-headed researcher. Engineer. Concerns? Nah, there's no point in worrying at this stage. It'll only make the work go that much the slower. She seems to be coping well. Anyone up here? Harried Etherologist. Do you have another friend who's dead? Blasted assistants. Where have they gone at a time like this? Probably to talk to the rabbits, actually. My bad. Beg pardon, but I don't have time for idle chit-chat. I need to reconfirm that ether levels are consistent throughout the vessel's machinery, and it seems I still have to do so single-handedly. I swear when I find those assistants of mine. The rabbit can help you. The Loporits are willing to help. Why didn't you say so? I just did. At least they won't moan about how they checked 24 times already and haven't slept in weeks. Lazy sods. Missy the boy. The boy. Do you mean the boy? I need to find one more person who's sad so I can give them rabbit therapy. Where's the last sad researcher? Have Chris look in a mirror? That's crazy. Chris isn't sad. Chris is having a great time. There's so many things for him to fight. No, I've been down this way. Tired Gleaner. You're not Aaronville. Is there anything bothering me? Well, I've been loading cargo for bells now, so my back feels like a void sense played as a piano. My feet and knees are as drums and cymbals too. Gleaner seems fine, just in need of a break. Ah! Go talk to a rabbit about it. I already talked to someone over here, so there's not gonna be another, I don't think. Yeah. Where's the last one? Where? Not around this building. It's not you, is it? No, you're just chilling. Does this door open? No. No, you're not the one. Wait. Wait. Is it you? No, you're chilling too. Is there anyone out this way? Maybe on the other side of this wall. Is there anyone out here possibly taking a small break who needs therapy from a rabbit? You can pet its fluffy ears as an unconcerned Gleaner. You're not gonna need rabbit therapy. Apologies, but I'm awaiting a delivery. Whatever it is, we'll have to wait. Ah! What about you, person in yellow? No, Chocobo Keep. I swear I'm gonna lose my mind. I know one of you fuckers needs therapy. Somewhere. Oh, there's another person right here. Ponderous Mathematician. Go do math with a rabbit. Huh? Consulting our collaborators. I suppose that would help. That would be more efficient than sitting here brooding. I'm attempting to calculate how much cargo we can consolidate into fewer trips, should the ether burner make our original estimates unfeasible. But there are simply too many variables. I feel as if my brow will turn inside out. Wow, crazy. Talk to a rabbit. Perhaps our lunar associates will have more insight into how much weight constitutes too much weight for our purposes. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for getting therapy from a rabbit. Rabbit therapy in session. Are you currently a rabbit? No. No, I'm not. I could, in theory, Fantasia. Okay. Oh, you're gonna send them down a rabbit hole. Yeah. Behold, Chrysanthemum. Through thine efforts, word has spread through Labyrinthos. Verily, to a far greater number than we anticipated. Livingway doth gather more Loporrits as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attentions, watch over them, I prithee. You want me to sit here and watch rabbit therapy? I suppose I can.
Phew! Oh, finally some rest. Why, I haven't spoken so much in, well, in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
Twould behoove you to consult with Sleepingway. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
Honk me.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Atheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge.
Look.
When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that, were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
Urianger had to be the one to tell you that maybe going to Atheris would be a good idea.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget...
Moonbreeder. No. Wait.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Is that who I think it is?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes, I am.
Vilson and Blovida, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
No. I guess you're getting closure.
Some time. Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Alfei, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where.
Oh.
Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know. We always know.
He needed that.
I remember
He
when
needed
you were
that
young,
really bad.
how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while, arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
He thought they were gonna hate
To
him.
see the boy our daughter trusted and believed in more than anyone grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
This moon breeder. She was important to him, wasn't she?
You could ask the man himself.
I warned you. I warned you yesterday.
No. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've
But
had
I
to
didn't
learn
know
about
that it
your
would be
world
this.
and its people.
I'm really
here your
glad
entire
that he was
life
able
and
to
hardly
see
learn a
them
thing.
before everything happened.
And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
I'm glad that he didn't have the chance to run away from it again. Wow, that's a big change in music. Oh, Chris, be assured that I am fine. I am full glad to see them too, after so very long. Gladder still that it was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. God, I'm in a loopy loop. Now hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loporits. Not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so shall I remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alice. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she's less like to scorn. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I could think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later. It was really nice. I'm glad that Yuri and Jay got to see them. Give me their current quest. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Give me. Stop emoting, Chris. I still remember when it happened, and I remember that it was the funniest thing because I was streaming D&D and you literally texted me, "I love Moonbreeda," and then like 20 minutes later, "No, Moonbreeda!" The Eric Cleaner. Hey. You're not Aaronville. I was in so much pain. Another world. I don't know what you're asking me, but the answer was another world. I was in so much pain and you're mocking me on stream. It's okay. I feel like I'm going to be in a lot of pain for a while. I feel like it's never gonna stop. The only time the pain's gonna stop is when this little thing says "to be continued." And even then, it's only temporary. We will be throwing hands. You've got a few expansions to go until you can, like, find me. So, I guess get on that. I always say that's a lot of that is a lot of boxes. You're trying to do Chris, what are you doing here? Helping you with boxes. No, I don't mind if you help me with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aporia. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphanor should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Box. Oh. See, I saw this. I didn't realize that it was all one ring. I thought that I was actually gonna have to, like, go in. What's here, then? Thaumazein. I swear, literally every time that I look down at my phone for like 2 seconds, I run immediately into a wall. Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put that there with the others. You have my gratitude. But how did you come to be involved in this? I saw Alice with boxes, and I grabbed one. Then I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. Thancred. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Aporia to begin with, so was I. Turns out this is a base of operations of sorts. Just what the final say as to what's included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. You carried all that at once. Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh hush, they're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we finished. Theopaldin is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance at least. Considering where we are, we might even get to learn something. I don't want to learn. I like not having too many thoughts in my head. Let me get the ether right before I talk to you. I have to do it. God, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? You've brought samples from Charlie and Hamlet. Series 110? The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I had expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You're Fortunat's children, are you not? Athano and Alice at your service. You're well acquainted with Father, I take it. Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the Studium. I remember when you were yay high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. It is good to see you again, wielding your father's Newellus, no less. You knew our parents when they were young. What were they like? Pray, spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. Sorry about that. Reams of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that. in exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Surprised it's only 3. Wait right there. I guess I'll go too. You will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphinaud and Awase. I'm certain they'll be back soon enough. The southernmost structure would be over here. Reserved representative. Hello. Are you not one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the Ether Burner. We kind of are, but we're also doing other things. Because you guys are stretched too thin. See up Halden's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you Scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Sharlayan has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth. Alright, now tell us embarrassing stories about Fortunato. Quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. We return. There's not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes, and... That is quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we'd asked to hear. To reiterate. I have been messaged. No, I haven't. It's just a server. Of course, of course. I have known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levayor name garners such respect in Sharlayan is your family's storied history. You too can trace your ancestry directly of those who came aboard Nyonkreft's Hope, a lineage few can claim. I've never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation, they were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. Which is why Nyonkreft's pronouncement, renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed. Doesn't really work for you two. Until your grandfather's time, Archon Louisoix looked not to Nyonkreft's words but his deeds. He asserted in defiance of his peers that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was a true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy and the fall of civilizations that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well indeed. Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Sharlayan or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his own son. Yet Fortunato could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortunato agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods know Fortuna is a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you're constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. Should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable he was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. Then why disown them? But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Hail, you three. Graha! Graha, surely Kokol hasn't driven you out of the forge already. For better or for worse, no. However, he has sent me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands. And here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alisaie and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Chris? Can you spare the time? Yeah, it's 12:47. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Why is the music going so hard here? In the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Kokol wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at a moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames in Kokol's forge to burn hotter, simply to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire-respected ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustments will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process once we arrive. This is where we part then. We'll see you in Charlie and Hamlet once the adamantite arrives, if not before. This way then. Let's go. I might be able to get to the next stopping point I wanted, after all. It will be the final thing that I knew about, and I only know of the name of the encounter. It's gonna be close. I don't know if I'll be there for sure. The reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire ether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water-respected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn to the reactor itself. Trust me. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? They'll pose you little trouble, I'm sure. Sorry, 1 second. There. Wait here if you would. I am not wood. I'm made of skin. Hello, swirling Appa. You look different than I remember from Avatar. Swirling Sprite. I'm more of a Mountain Dew kind of guy. More 7-Up, really. Didn't Sprite get, like, No, that was Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist got cancelled and turned into Starry. Did everything go smoothly out here? Yeah, just a couple elementals. They were pretty easy. Yeah, that's what I mean. Sierra Mist was discontinued and turned into Starry. It was because I think it was like an OnlyFans model or something like that picked up the name when it lapsed. Their copyright lapsed. I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water ether appears to be venting properly. I expect Kokol will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Oops. Since I have you, there's another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Are you about to propose to me, G'raha? Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you and only you have been to Elpis. As we've established, refined adamantite is a product of Allag, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Allagans' efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who have pushed further, expand Allag's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above. Perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amon. Fandaniel. Did he remember his life as Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There's no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his former life. He'd only joined the Ascians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor. This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak? A natural disposition towards which they are inclined. We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Allag that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Xande. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. I skipped another thing. In facilitating Xande's return, Amon provided those languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had Xande not been convinced of his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is of the consequences of their own actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment. And yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Kokol's getting on? This way now? I don't think I'm gonna get to the next thing. I think I'm gonna go turn in this quest and then that'll be that. Gonna call it from there. I hope everybody's enjoying Endwalker as much as I am. It makes me really sad to know that it's coming to a close pretty soon. After I get to the end, I'm planning on probably doing what I had done previously, where I try to get through like a patch a stream and have like a couple streams a week, 2, maybe 3. And then after that, there's Dawntrail, which I think that I should probably be through Dawntrail by the time that whatever expansion comes next is out. But we'll see when we get there. Oh, I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you lot to do. Unless you can conjure up that refined adamantite any faster. That is my alarm to get ready for work. So, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Well, first I'm actually gonna teleport over here into a sanctuary so I can get that rested XP bonus. I might do a little bit of leveling after I get home. I gotta remember, I might set an alarm to, once I am home, go to the Gold Saucer and check my lottery tickets. Because if you check them, like, within just a couple hours of the thing being revealed, the numbers coming out, you get a pretty substantial bonus. And I want that bonus. But thank you everybody for hanging out. Next episode, or next session, stream, you guys are going to want to be here if you care about the story. But yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Hope y'all have a good one. Bye!